Test, test, mic test. Welcome and good morning, everyone. Gil here from your wholesaling, lease options, and marketing mastermind. Welcome to our morning session. If you can hear me okay, please go ahead and confirm in the Go to Webinar Control panel. You should be able to see my screen here. And once we get some of the verifications in the questions panel there, we will get rocking and rolling. Got a few things lined up for you guys today, one of which is going to be talking about some free marketing that you guys can do, especially since we have a lot of new people who are just getting started going into real estate here. Pretty awesome and exciting. Let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to move the webcam over. You guys know you can adjust that on your screens just to make sure you can see the screen and get the cam action, or at least make sure the desktop is showing there nicely. Awesome. Here you find, says Tony. Tony, did you get my email about the pre-screening team and the telemarketing team? They are ready and good to go. Let me know if... Well, yes, same goes for you. Judy, it'll take 24, 48 hours to get somebody dialed in, or to get my team in place to start making your outbound calls on your pay-per-click campaigns or follow-up calls on your direct mail. Okay. And so once you place the order, you definitely want to make sure that we are already added into your workspace. That way, right? We'll be able to start the outbound calls and then redirect them over to you once you guys are ready to dial into your respective businesses and process your particular leads. Yes, we did get a contract yesterday. Pretty exciting one. It's a deal here in California, and anything that gets listed on the market tends to fly off the shelf or get bought out in between local landlords competing and that are out in the marketplace right now purchasing everything they can get their hands on. You've got a nice little chunk of international buyers who are willing to pay more and can pay more for these particular properties. So that's an interesting one. We're going to see how that plays out. Got some feedback from one of our cash buyers yesterday, and they do, with this particular cash buyer that I was dealing with, he likes the deals that he can be in and out in about 6 months max, right? He's got an appetite for a little bit more risk, which is why a landlord buy and hold type of deal, or sit on the property for a year to 2 years and then sell it for an extra 20 to 30,000. That's just not their style, right? But the ideal buyer for this is a buy and hold landlord, or somebody that is planning to keep the property and pass it on from one generation onto the next. And I was actually talking to Henry, and he made a suggestion. Why not take a look at buyers that or people with 401ks, right? I mean, generally in the price range of the particular property we're asking, that's about the average dollar amount that's in a 401k. And rather than make a tiny percentage, you can definitely get a healthier return on your nice little nest egg. So welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us today. Happy Friday to everybody that is on the session. We've got our regular panelists and contributors that are part of this session. Henry, I'm not sure if you're in the field right now. I don't want to unmute you and put you on the spot, especially if you're driving on the road there. But let's go ahead and touch base with some of our regulars and panelists. On today's session, okay, I'm actually going to be walking you through how to produce and create your own yellow letter campaign. All right. That's the number one question we get asked when it is what I like to call bird dog and wholesaler season, when all the major educational companies come into town, pack the hotel rooms and the exhibit halls with how to flip houses, workshops, and educational seminars and events. And so now you get all these people coming into the marketplace, right? And whenever they come across our website or on our list, how do we do our own letters, and is there a cheaper alternative? And the answer is yes, there is. There are ways that you can produce them in house, and I'll walk you through that here today. In the meantime, let's go ahead and touch base with some of our investors and advisors. Want to make sure you guys are good to go on your end. How is the coaching going on your end, Bill? Any updates or feedback coming from your group of students?
Yeah, I mean, things are moving along fine. And, I was actually out this morning just meeting a bunch of investors at a property.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had a good time with the bird dogs. So I just wanted to hear, there was a couple of bird dogs that came through and I wanted to hear their spiel. So it was kind of interesting to see, what people were saying from the latest seminar. But yeah, I had picked up 3 or 4 cash buyers this morning, and I've got probably 4 or 5 coming again this afternoon, about 3. So should be interesting.
Awesome. Well, glad to hear you guys are out in the field. Tina's got some updates. We sent her some cash buyer lists here recently. I like to renew my cash buyers list 30 to 60 days max. I'm looking for the latest action and new names on the list that we can contact. Now, like any marketing campaign, you want to start out massive, generating a high quantity of leads. And as you get better, all right, or progress and consistently send out marketing in whatever shape or form, you're going to want to fine tune, you're going to want to test, you're going to want to update some of the criteria of your marketing campaigns so that you can come up with better converting, higher response rate type of campaigns before you go spend a ton of money into direct mail. So looks like with regards to that multifamily commercial type of deal, Tina, the family may have convince them to hold on for a little while. I would definitely keep in touch because something could change there down the line. I mean, who knows? The contract that had come in yesterday, I can tell you guys this lead came in the door several months ago, and it was just a regular call, not motivated by our criteria and standards, just kind of curious. They got a letter, so they responded. And several months later, right, fast forward to April 2014, the homeowner got sick and now requires a medical procedure that it's going to cost them a minimum. I think with everything all in, it's probably looking like a 6-figure operation. And in between the medication and all that, right? Because it's not just the operation, you're looking at aftercare, the medications. And so they need the money for the operation. And when you're dealing with a tired landlord, you know, just because of their lifestyle, they tend to have a lot of stress in their lower back and everywhere else in their bodies that's causing all sorts of, aches, pains, and sicknesses. So definitely touch base with them so that they will have the opportunity to do business with you as a parachute if they do need the fast cash, quick close offer. Tony said she'll check now. Excellent. I see your screen. Perfect. Perfect. Finishing a call right now, says Kelvin. Fantastic. Good to hear you talking to some sellers, Kelvin, our traveling virtual wholesaler. And awesome. Tiffany says, I can hear you. Perfect. Tired landlord. There's a pain for each tenant. The more tenants you have, the more pains. I'm part of a couple of forums here online. And there was a gentleman that posted asking himself, remind me again why I am a landlord, dot, dot, dot. And so, it's not for everybody, right? Some families are multi-generational, third, fourth, fifth, sixth generation type landlords. And so they're used to it. They are conditioned to the marketplace. They deal with they know how to deal with the stresses and challenges of being a landlord. That's their thing. For somebody that's just getting started out, and if you're looking for more passive investments, there are better options that are less stressful for you, that will allow you to cash flow and get a healthy return on your dollars. All right, so let's do this. Yellow letters, right? How can you guys produce and create your own yellow letters in house? I recommend you at least try or take a look at it. Now, we have active members and subscribers in on our 9 a.m.s that will write out their own letters. We even have Frank, who's got one good hand that writes his own yellow letters. So whenever somebody tells me that they don't have the time or they can't write their own yellow letters, I always think about Frank because I mean that guy is, that's a real inspiration right there. He works real hard, doesn't make any excuses. He's got one hand, right, and still able to flip properties virtually, writes his own yellow letters, and work the keyboard. He's doing about 4 to 6 hours a day, and he has consistently hit his goals with us here month after month after month on traditional wholesaling, right? So, yellow letters, write them out yourself, or at least try, right? When you go through these experiences where you put yourself through, get your hands dirty, and hunker down and just put in the work, put in the time, put in the work. You start to think about what you like and don't like about the process and find ways to improve it. So after you try writing out your own yellow letters and you come to the conclusion that I really wish there were other options to do this, try this particular approach. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to have you guys check out, at least not right now, but as you when you do create your own yellow letters, you're definitely helps if you have a program called Microsoft Word. So actually, we're going to start with Microsoft Word, or that's where we're going to edit the actual letters. Now, the letter that I use is this particular piece right here. 1 second. Let me attempt to save the file name. And yellow letter, gill letter. Yes, you guys will get a copy of the yellow letter. It will be in the notes, so I will make sure to take some nice, good notes on today's session. That way, we'll be able to, or you guys would actually be able to download the notes. Let me make the other screen here a presenter, and you guys should see a nice little pop-up on here. Show my screen. All right, you guys should see the screen on here, and that way you know what yellow letter I am referring to or talking about. Guys, go ahead and confirm. Steve, if you are you on the session with us here today? I'm not quite sure. Where is, there you go. Sorry, my friend, you are on a hard mute.
Said, yeah, go, yellow letters. Awesome. Woo!
Yellow
Woo!
letters, get excited. Awesome. So this is the sample, this is the yellow letter that I use. And I use Microsoft Word, okay? It's really easy to edit. And we'll start from scratch so you can see how to do this. Now, there's a nice little website that I'll have you guys check out where you can actually create your own particular fonts. And that's pretty awesome. There will be a link in the section, the resources, which will show you the particular website that you can check out to generate your own particular font. This is if you want to use your own handwritten style font. Some people are not comfortable using a letter that doesn't have their own font. I don't think it's a big deal. What you're going for is a handwritten style font so that you have higher conversions with regards to your yellow letters. People will call just out of curiosity, and that would allow you to, once again, capture more leads as you work your particular business. So there are nice, really easy step-by-step process here on this website on how you can generate and create your own font. Simply follow them here on the right-hand side. There's a template that you're going to print out, and this little template right here, you start to write out A, B, C, D, A through Z, and the number system. And it's just like preschool where the teacher gives you a little hand sheet and you fill in the blanks and copy the letters. That's what you're going to do. Once you're done filling out their template, you're actually going to scan and upload it, and you can generate your own particular font. Now, there is a small fee for this particular service. I think it might be, let me double check here for you guys. I think it's like $5, give or take. Let's see how much they charge nowadays. About $9.95, right? So not bad. There is also a nice little affiliate program that they offer, which is pretty cool. So for those of you who actually do or will implement your own yellow letters, take into account that they do have an affiliate program. Post that on your particular website so that you have another lead magnet, another tool, or a source of revenue there for the business, right? the little ones do help, especially once you start learning how to drive traffic. Now, once you preview your font, you do like how it looks, you're going to download and install it inside of Microsoft Word. Okay, so this is a sample of what the letter would look like right here. Okay, now how do you start filling in this particular Word document so that you can print out your yellow letters? You're going to start with a blank sheet right here. And you will go ahead and insert text boxes around the particular document. Okay, I just use a simple text box, nothing fancy. All right, and then I will, sorry, wrong keyboard. Okay, start over. Insert text box, annual quote, author quote, draw text box. There we go. Simple or draw text box. I think if you draw text box, it's actually simpler and easier. So just go with the draw text box. And then you're going to put Dear X. Okay. You will insert different merge fields into this particular document. So don't worry, that will pop up on here as we move forward. Okay. And since you will have a template that you can follow, let me just go ahead and close this other document so we don't since you're going to have this particular document and template to follow, you're simply going to mirror and add in your own boxes. Now, the easier way to do this would be to just go ahead and edit the existing document you download. But for some reason, some people like to, again, put it all together from scratch. So we're going to get you that video so that you'll be able to do that. Okay, so download the file. You can go through a copy paste motion throughout the document, all right? And you can just copy paste the text boxes and move them around the document, all right? Now you're gonna have to quote unquote guesstimate a little bit here, and that's okay. I'll show you guys how you will learn how you will end up sizing it up. The original template or file that you can download as part of this video, which will be in the website that you're viewing it on, okay? Or if you're watching this on a YouTube channel, there'll be a download link right below it, so you can get a copy of the template or instructions on where you can do so, okay? And yes, I do use the red font. I do use the red font. So I'm just copy pasting along here, trying to mirror what's in that other letter, right? If you really want to put it together from scratch, again, the easy way is just to edit this one right here. All right. But if you want to put it all together from scratch, we can do that one as well. Yes, it is already, the original file that you can download is already centered and lines up perfectly with the printer, and I will share what printer you can use. Livingston Street, okay. Please call me at. All right. And this is if you want to copy paste it. Obviously, if you're going to just edit the information, this will take you, it'll actually be much shorter than the whole copy paste method. The signature, you'll have to scan your own signature, obviously, right? And then add that into the document. Okay. But if you simply replace or just put the picture over it in the file, you will once again be good to go. It's already lined up, measured there quite nicely. Okay. Now, a couple key elements I would want to highlight and point out, making sure that you do not forget these important factors. Number one, red font. Number two, handwritten style font. Three, yellow pad paper. Okay, yellow pad paper, since you can actually crank these out in volume. And then the yellow pad that you can use is the one that you see on here. I don't know what brand that is. It says Tops, but I don't know if that's the final brand. There'll be a link below the post so you know which yellow pad you can actually check out and use. I have found stacks of these available at Costco, and we've gotten verification from members that have purchased from Costco the yellow pad paper for their printing. And it actually just, even when you do, yeah, so even when you do tear it out, right, Michelle, when you load it into the printer, it will print again right side up and fully lined and within the margins. Okay. Now, when you do print it, okay, if you do print out this letter and you find it's a little bit off, maybe it's coming out right on the red lines in the yellow pad, then all you'll have to do is just modify and move some of these pieces around right here, right? So that you can line it up. You'll be able to line it up correctly and move it around. Now, some letters that you'll print out, they won't be perfect as long as they're within the red line somehow. Even if it overlaps a little bit, that's okay. Now, if the red line's like cutting it right in the middle of the text, then obviously you want to move that around. But more or less, yeah, if you're printing in batches of about 50 to 60, then you shouldn't have that problem where the computer will, where the printer will start uh, jamming with the yellow pad paper. Correct. Okay, let me just check some of the comments. Okay, now somebody here is asking, Gil, when you install and use, where do you apply the font? You're going to install the font, and again, they have super easy to follow directions on here. Okay, if you have Windows 7, if you've got a Mac, it tells you how to install the font. Super easy to follow along. Don't want to overcomplicate that particular process, right? But once you are inside of your Word documents, okay, in the font, if you notice on here on the upper left-hand side, I've saved my font and I've named it G font, right? Gil font, my font. So this is my handwritten font. If you guys download the template, you guys can always change the font. That's not a problem once you download and install your other font. So this is a sample this is another type of font that is a handwritten style font. And you can apply your own font, right? So if you want to use the G font, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want to use your own font, whichever you create, that's absolutely fine and cool too, okay? And yes, you can start printing out these letters. Now, the printer that well, let me double check. Are you guys following along? Does anybody have any questions on that one? Let's pause for a second here. Where'd my questions panel go? Okay, I don't see it on that one, so let me check this one right here. Gil says, Gillo, I put the yellow paper behind the white paper and leave the name and address blank. Then I scan the white paper in the scanner. Then I put the yellow paper in the printer and it comes out looking handwritten. Hey, that's one way to do it too. You can, yeah, so again, once you start writing your own letters, you're going to realize what doesn't work, what's inefficient. You're going to modify that process the way Gil O and his company does it. They'll delete this address line right here. So they don't have an address. So this is blank. And they'll probably leave the name blank as well, right? And so they just print out this blank yellow handwritten style font right there, this yellow letter, and then they'll handwrite the name and the address on there. So that's one way to do it. That's pretty cool. And if you want to do it in volume, I actually have a small stack of this inside my car that I can easily fill in the blanks, right? So that's the fill in the blanks format, where if I come across a vacant property, then I can fill in the address and stick it and tack it right on their door. Okay, so let me continue here with the letter, so that way you guys again can start producing your own. Once you insert the text boxes, okay, once you insert the text boxes into the document, you will need to insert merge files. That way you can link your letter with the list that you will be mailing out. So in this case, okay, to insert a merge file, you're going to go to mailings, insert merge field, okay, and you will have the option of entering a particular merge field on here, okay. So let me take you through it and show you how to do that. You're going to select a recipient list. use an existing list, all right? And you're going to obviously have to look for the file where you saved it into your computer, right? And let me see, what lists are we mailing? Okay, so let's go this one. This is in Riverside. Okay, so okay, ta-da! Letter first name is the merge field on there, and so now I have the file attached, right? Linked to this document. That's the list that I'm going to be mailing. I will insert a merge field for the motivated seller name, all right? And if I want to check what that looks like, there's a preview results button on here. So first name, there's a meal. So it's asking letter first name, fields in the data source. So what file in the data source? I'm going to put motivated seller name. Okay. We have 2 merge fields on here. So we'll simply delete one. And so now I've got Antonio Navarro on there. All right. And again, we can always update this field right here. Let me show you how to do that. Insert merge field. Motivated seller name, bingo, there we go. And if you click once again preview results, it'll show you, okay, motivated seller name, and of course if you were starting from scratch, you won't have anything on here. You need to insert a merge field and put a property address. There you go. So now you have your name, now you have your addresses cranked out on there. And this is you can automate or have a nice little process here where you will simply insert there's a date, I think, that pops up on here somewhere. April footer. Yeah, it's hard because I don't have everything opened. But if you start typing in April 18, 2014, ta-da, it's on there. But what I want to do is insert the time and date. Header, text box. Here we go. Insert, if I click on date and time, it would automatically insert today's date. And if I have it on update automatically, then when I print the letters, it's going to print today's date. That way it's current. I do like to use a 7-day window for the dates. So if I will use the 18th for, let's say I'll print out a batch today, and then I'll mail those out over the next few days, right? But that's how you get your date installed there. All right. Now, the printer, because that's always a good question and where most people get stuck, the printer that you can use is an Epson 4530. Okay. And there'll be a link if you want to go order an Epson 4530 online, I guess, included in this post. But this is a printer that can crank these out in batches of 20, 30, 50, 60. Now, what I've found by doing your own letters, by actually printing out your own letters, you can get your costs down to about 70, 80 cents per unit. The cheapest vendor that I've seen out there, we pay, we got a college kid started with his own little home business. And so we pay him about 90 cents a unit. It comes with a stamp, sealed, handwritten style font, and the envelope. So it's all in there, all inclusive, which is pretty cool, right? But you can get it down to about 70, 80 cents, even lower if you, lighten the color of the font, or, find other ways that you can tweak and modify your particular direct mail campaigns. Okay. And that is the yellow letter. So if you guys have any questions on that process, go ahead and type it in right now. Is that a CSV file? The Excel file of the list is a CSV file, right? Thank you, Toya. Appreciate it. Karen, the yellow pad paper is just a bit smaller than a regular sheet. Some printers won't pick it up. I have personally in our office, or at the office rather, that model printer works fantastic. It works great, and it doesn't jam. For those of you that are going to fill in the blanks with your yellow letters, you definitely want to make sure that, I think I'm going to sneeze again. You're using the same color red font, right? Or the same color. Hold on 1 second. Nope, we lost it. Okay, so we're back. Now, that's how you print out your own yellow letters here at home. Use that particular printer. Check out the font website if you want to produce your own font. Or there will be a download link for this yellow letter template and a copy to the to font as well. Hold on, I think it's happening. Sorry. Um, but yes, there will be a copy or a file where you can download and use the G font as part of this post for your own yellow letters. Outside of that, let's see, what else do we got? You can also produce and create your own envelopes, right? And so it is a similar process with the envelopes. Let me show you some sample envelopes here. This is for mailers we're doing in another location or market. Okay, and you would simply go through the same format. You can use text boxes, right? For example, insert text box, draw the text box, and you can have it on there, right? Or make your lives a whole lot easier. Just download the template and edit the document at that point. Now the merge fields, good question. The merge fields, you can highlight the merge field so you can see which one it is. Just remember to uncheck highlight merge fields, because when you print it, it will actually come out with a highlight on the when you print out the final product. But in this case, so this isn't a merge field. This is just text that I've entered normally. This right here is a these are merge fields, right? And I showed you how to insert a merge field. You go to mailings, insert merge field, and then you will pick out what data. So what data in the Excel file you will use. So if I go insert motivated seller name envelope, because I have a column in my Excel file that will show the motivated seller names envelope, I hit enter, and I'll go ahead and insert motivated envelope seller address. Just press tab so that I can move it down like so. I'll put a comma in there. Okay. Insert merge field, motivated seller city, comma, insert merge field, motivated seller state, comma, insert merge field, motivated seller zip code. Now, if you want to make it look nicer, you can just hit enter, and there you go. Voila. The printer that I talked about earlier also prints envelopes. That's the reason why I like or recommend that particular printer. It took us a while to find a good printer that can actually print out both the letters and the envelopes. And once our printer guy, had I think he went through like 5 different models. Once he got a model that worked, it turns out to be that printer that we mentioned there earlier. And there will be links in the resources or in the post on the website that you are watching this video in. Thank you so much, Toya. What size envelopes that you use? Do you use? Hey, Kelvin, thank you very much. Got the greeting. Thank you. What envelopes do you use? Good question. Once again, yellow pad. I believe you can get them at Costco, and I had a sample somewhere on here, but give me 1 second. I think I set one out. I use the regular style envelopes, like so. So here are some recent mail that we got that was returned. Is it gonna ever focus? Don't know if you can see that. What size envelope? It is the number 10 envelopes, and I believe you can also get that at. Hold on, I'll type it on here. Number 10 envelopes. And you can also get that at this particular retailer right here. Do you place your return address on the back of the envelope? I'm just using a simple white envelope, Toya. My return address is actually on the front of the envelope, like you see in the letter. And so I just use that as I use a return address that is a UPS mailing address or a virtual office address where you can actually rent out mailboxes. And it's pretty cool. On those virtual offices, it actually comes with an admin, or some of them have secretaries that can answer your phone for you and at really reasonable cost. So virtual offices or the UPS store. I don't like to use PO boxes. I find that more people will write back, call back, and the campaign, there's just a better response rate when we use an address that appears local. The if it says PO box on there, our campaigns just haven't been as responsive or do as well, and so I don't mess around with it, and I use that address for other business purposes anyway. So I don't print them on the back. I just use a white envelope, a simple one on there. Calvin says, "You're welcome. Thank you, thank you." And Karen says, "I have an HP all-in-one. What will do this, but it can have issues." You know, it can. I find that when you go over 50, when you're trying to print over 50 letters or envelopes, that's when the rotors start to click or have a hard time chugging along there. So yes, HPs do work, but it can have the end up jamming. Awesome. So very cool. And that is the process on how to print and create your own particular yellow letters. Right now, next thing I wanted to walk you guys through as part of today's session is a lot of post office are letting you use their street address now, but yeah, they are, and they'll claim to have a local address and all that good stuff, but it's still a PO box, and I think even if you have a natural address, there's something about it still being a PO box and not being able to use it on all our mail. I just like to use UPS. I find that it's pretty economical, especially if you do it in 3, 6, and 12-month intervals. Next thing I'll walk you guys through is how to go ahead and farm Craigslist. Okay, so I'll have you guys go to, obviously, Craigslist, since we're going to be farming Craigslist. And right here on Craigslist, one of our recommended virtual markets to check out or at least do business in is Oklahoma City. Love it. And so Oklahoma City, I will target two main sections here, right? I'll click on housing, and I want to be looking at the for sale by owner and in the for rent section. So in order to kind of narrow that down, I'll go into real estate for sale and apartment and housing. Okay, that way I can divide my leads. Now you can look at for sale by owner by clicking on the owner section on here, and it's marked by a link followed by craigslist.org/REO. So in this case, it's the market.craigslist.org/REO. And under the for sale by owner section, all right, you'll simply start taking a look at ads. Now, if there are properties that are more vacation type homes, just make sure that you are obviously how do you say, you have a strategy for flipping vacation or whatever property that you're going to be marketing. Now, there are some new features on here where you actually have to click on the phone number. So if you are starting out and you're a one man, one woman operation, it definitely helps to have some of these nice little shortcuts that I'm going to walk you through here in terms of a search criteria. Okay, so this is where the real estate owner for section is, and this is the apartment and housing for rent. Under the apartment or housing for rent category, this is where we'll go ahead and send out a wholesaling type of message. I'm a local rehabber and interested in purchasing some properties, or I'm a landlord. Would you be interested in selling for cash? Or I am, I'm getting back into purchasing some investments. I see you have a rental property. Would you consider a cash offer? Would you be open to selling? So a wholesaling type message, those are a couple you can try out, or you can also go with a creative financing or a lease with an option to buy message, where people saw your house on Craigslist. Is it possible to rent the house and then buy it? Now, I do recommend a couple of things on there. You'll check this, especially I'll keep it for our members only, because there have been some updates to Craigslist with regards to the way you search and the way you market. Now, in order for you to save some time when it comes to searching, okay, searching for leads on Craigslist, I recommend you at least have some filters that you will type on here under the search criteria. Okay, and the criteria is as follows. Give me one quick second while I get my little file open on here.